Live from Siouxland's News Channel, this is KTIV News 4.
Up next on News 4 at 6, a local store that couples rely on for tuxedos and dresses for weddings has abruptly closed.
Plus, a wrong turn. A novice driver crashes through a fence and winds up in the backyard pool of a South Sioux City home.
And later, the first bell of the school year rings in about 2 weeks. How Sioux City schools are helping teachers prepare for the first day. Good evening, everyone. Tip Top Tux and Dream Dress Express locations didn't open their doors today for customers.
Instead, a note outside the door at the location on Floyd Boulevard and the one on Sargent Road indicated the stores were closed. KTIV's Clayton Anderson joins us now in studio. So, Clayton, you were able to speak with some customers who worry about a last-minute problem thrown into their wedding plans. What did they have to say?
Yeah, Jessica, that's right. There are a lot of unknowns. Employees claim the businesses are now closed and they're out of a job. Brides and grooms are scrambling for a solution. KTIV received this email sent to employees announcing the permanent closure of Tip Top Tux and Dream Dress Express. Now brides and grooms who were counting on dresses or tuxedos are scrambling.
Our guys are out of state, so trying to get guys back to Sioux City to get fitted for tuxes again is going to be a nightmare.
Lexi Anderson lives in South Sioux City, Nebraska. Her wedding is just under a month away. She has reserved 14 tuxedos for almost $4,000 with Tip Top Tux for her wedding party. Now she'll have to search other stores for another option and hope for a refund from Tip Top Tux.
I'm trying to roll with the punches. They say that you're going to have hiccups during the wedding planning. You just kind of got to roll with it, and as long as my groom shows up, I'm going to try to make the best of it.
It's a similar story for the Peterson family. They're out over $2,000 for 10 tuxes. The good news, they already have the dress. Candy Peterson has been helping her daughter Mila with planning for her September 16th wedding.
You can't tell me that company did not know what was going to happen. So, it makes a person mad.
While Peterson and Anderson already have their dresses, one bride-to-be who's getting married in the summer of 2024 will likely have to look for her dream dress all over again.
I spent roughly $1,200 for a veil and my dress, and I still have to pay the other half of the dress. So I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know if I'm gonna look for another dress right now or wait.
A store manager told KTIV this is a permanent closure. The company notified employees of the closure in an email sent at 2 o'clock this morning. They said no severance or benefits will be provided to employees, and customer Abby Johnson told me the local owners are doing everything they can to get tuxedo in stock to customers. They're encouraging customers to dispute the charge on their credit cards as a way to get their money back for tuxedos and dresses that aren't in stock.
All right, Clayton Anderson live in studio. Thanks for that update. Well, today we had a pretty nice day in Siouxland.
Yeah, after a very wet weekend. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Ron DeMars joins us tonight to talk about the dry skies that we have over Siouxland.
So wet over the weekend in so many areas, although here at KTIV, not as wet as some locations, as on Saturday, KTIV saw 61/100ths of an inch, while inches were coming down in other parts of the KTIV viewing region. Here is the way it looks outside up on our Okoboji cam at this time. Just a lovely view across most of the region. Here's our Niobrara State Park cam. Partly cloudy skies showing up there as well, although a few of you folks have gotten a little bit wet this afternoon. Here is radar, and what you're looking at right now is a couple of very isolated showers have been forming in northwest Iowa. This one went right over Spencer about half an hour ago and continues to work its way off to the southeast. Otherwise, most of these will kind of fade away as we head through the next couple of hours. A lot of our temperatures right now in the upper 70s and lower 80s, including 82 degrees right here in Sioux City. Dew points actually drying out. We've had this drier air filtering in from the west. You're going to notice more humid conditions to the east and a little drier air farther to the west. And here in Sioux City, our dew point has been falling. We're down to 58 degrees. Eventually, that leads to cooler overnight lows. By early tomorrow morning, we might be dipping down into the upper 50s. Does that milder weather stick around for a while or not? I'll have your forecast for you coming up soon.
All right, thanks for the update, Ron. Well, an otherwise ordinary Sunday afternoon in South Sioux City was interrupted when the driver of a car crashed through a fence and drove into a pool behind a home. The family living there saw the whole thing happen. Here's KTIV's Nick Reese.
Keep an eye on the silver sedan on the right side of your screen. At around 7:30 Sunday night, that car made a right turn, jumped the curb, drove through a neighboring yard, and then
We heard the car crash through the fence, so we looked up just in time to see the car launch into the pool. It looked like a movie.
There was wood everywhere, and then I saw a big splash.
Jennifer McCune and her kids were eating dinner after watching the latest Mission Impossible at the theater. When they saw the crash, they thought the movie might have come to life.
We all kind of went into action. One of us called 911. My husband was out here helping them get out of the car. We were trying to grab the dog. There was just chaos everywhere.
McCune's husband is an EMT and helped get the driver out of the car before authorities arrived. From there, they all waited for the tow truck to pull the car out.
They had to lower the back of the tow truck into the pool, essentially, to pull it out.
You might think that watching a car crash through your fence into your backyard would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. However, this actually isn't the first time that this has happened to the McCune family.
The last time it did take out almost all of the privacy fence, and it totaled both of our cars in the driveway. And that happened 11 years ago.
But McCune is confident that both incidents were no more than freak accidents.
It could happen anywhere at any time. I don't think it was a matter of location. The police officers did tell us after that it was a new driver, right? So he was learning how to navigate the gas and the brake and just panicked with an incident at the corner.
McCune says she plans on reinforcing the fence just in case something like this happens again.
Nobody was hurt, and that's the big thing. If it's a fence and a pool, we can handle that.
In South Sioux City, Nebraska, Nick Reese, KTIV News 4.
And the homeowner says insurance should cover the cost of repairs. She says her family should hopefully be able to use the pool again in about 3 weeks.
From Siouxland's News Channel, Matt Breen, Jessica Bowman, Chief Meteorologist Rhonda Mars, and Sports Force with Jason Moeller. This is KTIV News 4 at 6.
With less than 5 years of service to the U.S. Navy, the USS Sioux City now confirmed it will be decommissioned this month. We've got details after the break. Tonight, Sioux City leaders are reacting to news that the Navy ship that bears the city's name will be decommissioned. Less than 5 years after it was commissioned, the USS Sioux City will be decommissioned August 14th at Naval Station Mayport in Florida. The Navy cited budget concerns as one of the reasons for the decommissioning. City Council member Dan Moore tells KTIV while he understands the Navy's decision, he's disheartened that the city's time with the ship was so short.
I understand budget. I understand all of that. But I was hoping we'd have at least 25 more years of USS Sioux City and the relationship. The relationship was so important. All of us had built personal relationships with the U.S. Navy crew.
Sioux City has hosted several crew members from the ship over the years. Siouxland Chamber President Chris McGowan says in spite of this news, Sioux City's dedication to the armed forces will continue.
This is a remarkable manifestation of our commitment to the men and women in the armed forces. No community anywhere in the country rallied around to support their namesake ship and the crew the way Sioux City did. And my takeaway is I will always be incredibly proud of the way my hometown responded to this ship and her crew.
The USS Sioux City will officially be decommissioned 1 week from today, Monday, August 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 9 a.m. Central Time. It'll be decommissioned at Naval Station Mayport in Florida.
Iowa's Attorney General is suing the Environmental Protection Agency for failing to fulfill Governor Kim Reynolds' request to allow the sale of year-round E15 gasoline. On April 28, 2022, a bipartisan coalition of governors asked the EPA to allow the sale of E15 gasoline through the summer. Iowa AG Brenna Bird says despite the Clean Air Act requiring the EPA to comply within 90 days, well, the EPA hasn't acted. Nebraska Attorney General Mike Hilgers also joined the lawsuit on behalf of the state of Nebraska. In response to the lawsuit, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds released a statement saying, quote, American energy independence, including Iowa's renewable energies, should be the goal of any presidential administration, especially when it saves Americans money at the gas tank. I applaud Attorney General Bird for bringing the lawsuit holding the federal government accountable, end quote.
And we felt the cooler weather move in yesterday to have another cooler night ahead. I'll have more about that in your 10-day forecast coming up next.
It's New Teacher Orientation Day for some 80 teachers with the Sioux City Community School District. The teachers were treated to lunch with administrators before a half day of sessions preparing them for the new school year. School Board President Dan Greenwell said the district hoped to hire between 70 and 100 teachers, a mark they met this year. For Chase Felix, a West High graduate, he's excited to get started.
You know, I'm not the only new person going into this, so that definitely helps out a lot walking into the media center today and seeing how many people there were.
Greenwell says the district focuses its recruiting efforts on a 300-mile radius around Sioux City, but the district will accept candidates from all over the country. Felix was initially assigned to West High, but was transferred to North Middle School.
Just go with the flow. I mean, things aren't always going to go as planned. Some things are going to get chaotic. In the end, it'll be okay.
The first day for school in the Sioux City Community School District, for students anyway, is August 23rd.
Well, after a rainy weekend in parts of Siouxland, things settled down for us today, although a couple locations did end up seeing a little more in the way of rain. I'll show you that here in just a moment. What other changes lie ahead? Well, we can't rule out that isolated evening shower in parts of the area. And again, I'll show you what we do have out there right now. Overall, some cooler days in our 10-day forecast. Not all of them are going to be that way, but some of them will be. And some nighttime storm chances come our way this week as well. Here's the way it looks over in Norfolk, Nebraska through the eye of our Norfolk cam at this time. Notice on our Spencer cam, still some puddles lying around because a little shower that made its way through about 45 minutes ago or so. And here we are in Sioux City. This is our Blackbird Bend Casino camera. We're at 82 degrees. The dew point came down since this morning. That dew point got in the 60s on us again, but we're at 58 for a dew point right now. Here is radar, and what you're going to see is a couple of those little thunder showers going on right here in northwest Iowa. This one has gotten a little stronger between Spencer and Pocahontas right now as it continues to work its way off to the southeast. So just a slight chance tonight into tomorrow morning. Better chances tomorrow night that I'll detail here in a moment. And the biggest storms tonight are going on farther off to the southwest. There's actually a severe thunderstorm watch in this area until 10 p.m. Those storms also making their way off to the southeast. Notice how cool it is out here too. Denver's only at 68 while Rapid City's at 59 degrees. Most of the rest of the upper Midwest looking a lot cooler than what we have the past couple of weeks anyway. A lot of us in the low 80s right now, and even some upper 70s showing up in Storm Lake, Denison. Over to Yankton, you're at 77, and out in O'Neill, only 74 degrees there. That's where that drier air is moving in from the west. So you see dew points in the 50s out that direction, as opposed to a lot of northwest Iowa, still seeing those dew points in the 60s. As for our Weather Watcher highs, here's how we came out today, reaching 79 in Carroll and Denison. Mapleton today 78, and up in Sheldon 79 degrees there. Farther to the west, hitting 80 in Pender and almost 80 anyway in Wayne. Yankton today 78, and right here in Sioux City, our low this morning got down to 58 degrees. So that's pleasantly cool for this time of year. 83 is just 1 degree off our average high. Let's talk about the future. On your future track, you're going to see some isolated showers this evening, especially in northwest Iowa. By 3 a.m., still maybe a slight chance, especially in northeast Nebraska, and even a small chance into the morning hours tomorrow. But otherwise, probably looking at a partly sunny day. As we get into tomorrow night, especially as we approach midnight, that's when we could see another round of storms be making its way into western Siouxland. At that point, they then march their way eastward. So scattered shower and thunderstorm activity for our Tuesday night. And some of those could be on the stronger side of things. Notice some marginal risk that is going to be out there for a lot of northeast Nebraska and on into western Iowa, just southwest of the Sioux City metro area. So we'll be watching for the potential of a few of those cells anyway to have some hail and wind associated with them. Tonight, though, pretty quiet other than those isolated showers early. Look for lows in the upper 50s. Otherwise, tomorrow looking for highs near 80 again. Under a partly sunny sky, just that small chance of a morning shower. Those better chances of storms come at us tomorrow night into very early Wednesday morning. Wednesday's high 79 degrees. More nighttime storms, a possibility again by Thursday night. Otherwise, a little warmer for your Thursday and Friday. Highs both of those days in the mid-80s and still around 84 on Saturday. Could see another chance of some storms from Saturday night through the day on Sunday. Sunday's high temperature 79 degrees. We start to get a little more comfortable after that with those highs near 80 on Sunday and Monday before we go back into the low 80s for the middle of next week.
Still hard to believe the amounts of rain that we saw over the weekend in northwest Iowa.
Yeah, Sioux Center coming in with 10 inches as opposed to, like I said, under an inch here at KTIV. So it was hit and miss stuff, but boy, a lot of areas did get hit with that this time.
Certainly certainly did. Ron, thank you.
You bet.
Well, as we continue our coverage, a jury has convicted a man who once worked at Sioux City North High School of sexual exploitation involving multiple students. Court documents show a jury found 41-year-old Abdir Marrero guilty of sexual exploitation by a school employee. The charge stems from a time when Marrero was a counselor and the head cross-country coach at North High. According to court documents, in 2021, a female student athlete at North High came forward and told authorities Marrero had inappropriately touched her on numerous occasions. As Sioux City police investigated these claims, more female student athletes came forward. The school district says Marrero resigned December of 2021.
And I'm live in Remsen, Iowa, as the first day of fall sports practice in Iowa is officially underway. We'll check in with the Remsen St. Mary's Hawks next on Sports Force. Welcome back, everyone. Man, it feels so great to say this one. Football season is officially back here in the state of Iowa. Today is the first official day of practice for fall sports in Iowa, meaning football fields all around Siouxland are pretty busy as teams are putting in those preparations for the start of this season. I'm here right now in Remsen, Iowa, checking in with the reigning 8-man state champions, the Remsen St. Mary's Hawks, as they get underway with their first practice here. But before we check in with the Hawks, let's take a quick look at how things are set to shape up this football season. Today is the first practice for all fall sports teams as they start gearing up, as we mentioned. The first football games of the season are scheduled for August 24th and 25th. It'll be here before we know it. And looking even further ahead, playoffs are set to begin in mid-October with state championship games scheduled for November 16th and 17th. Kicking everything off with Camp KTIV as we are set to go around and check in with our local teams is the reigning 8-man state champions, the Remsen St. Mary's Hawks. The Hawks are led by head coach Tim Osterman, and last season was a dominant one for the Hawks, ending the season undefeated at 13-0 and finishing as state champions. They've made 12 state appearances and won 3 state titles. So as the Hawks get underway here the next few days at practice, which you can see right here behind me, they're still going here until 7 p.m. They say these next few days are all about finding what the identity of this year's team is going to be and how they're going to live out the brand of Remsen St. Mary's football. They're choosing to remember the feeling of winning a state title last season, but also focusing on a fresh start to this new chapter this season. Coach Osterman says camp is all about giving max effort as much as possible and always staying in the moment, showing that toughness. The Hawks are losing 8 impactful seniors from last season, but this new group of seniors, they're looking forward to the opportunity to showcase their own leadership.
Big opportunity in front of us. We've had a couple good years. We're going to try to keep that going. We had a good senior group last year. We're trying to just fill their footsteps. I'm glad I get to be a leader this year. I'm going to take advantage of it and lead as much as I can.
Now the Hawks are scheduled to start their season on August 25th at home as they host Harris Lake Park. And sticking with the theme of football season here, college football is just around the corner as well. The Wayne State Wildcats are set to kick off their fall camp. Actually, today they got underway with practice as they prepare for kickoff on August 31st. Today, the NSIC released their football preseason coaches poll, which has the Wildcats picked to finish 3rd. The Wildcats received 2 first-place votes and 114 points in voting done by coaches from all across the league. The Wildcats are returning 16 starters from last year's team that was 9-3 overall. They earned the school's first ever NSIC championship while advancing to the NCAA Division II playoffs for the 2nd time in school history. So, guys, lots of exciting things on the gridiron coming your way. We, of course, have all the high school football action, college football underway. We're going to be checking in with all of these teams the next few days. Wayne State, Northwestern, Morningside. Tomorrow I'll be visiting Central Lyon, George Little Rock as well. So, lots of exciting things coming. It's football season and we're ready to go.
So are we. Amber Salas with Live Link 4 in Remsen, Iowa for us tonight. Amber, thank you.
All right, well, let's take a final check of that forecast, Ron.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing's as exciting as football, probably.
Right.
But yeah, we are talking about a pretty quiet night overall. There's a couple isolated showers out there this evening. Otherwise, low is pretty nice for this time of year as we dip into the upper 50s. For our day tomorrow, look for highs again near 80 degrees. Not a whole lot different than what we saw today. Could see an isolated morning shower chance, and then by the afternoon, partly sunny skies. It's more toward tomorrow night that our next round of storms could make its way through the area. And just a reminder, there's a marginal risk of a severe storm as we get through northeast Nebraska and into western Iowa. That could linger some thunderstorms on into our Wednesday morning as well, with Wednesday's high temperature around 79 degrees. We get a little warmer after that for Thursday, Friday, as well as Saturday. Could see another round of storms Thursday night at this point, but highs for those 3 days mostly in the mid-80s. Could see another round of storms from Saturday night, and through the day on Sunday we'll keep chances in that forecast as well, with a high of 79 degrees. Then a little more tranquil of weather pattern as we get toward next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Highs by that time mostly in the low 80s.
So I guess that rain really helped cool us off.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's kind of nice to see a quieter day today, because Saturday was so active, just incredible. The rainfall amounts that came down, obviously. And tomorrow, yesterday was just more of a drizzly, showery kind of day. But boy, it's strange to feel those highs in the 60s and 70s yesterday.
All throughout the day. But it was kind of nice to have a little bit of rain.
Yeah, a little bit. Thanks, Ron. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 4 at 6. ET's coming up next. We'll see you back here tonight for News 4 at 10.